Hello everybody and welcome back to Hearts of Iron, where I've decided to put together a Marine division and we'll get some of these going. So this is what I've gone for right now. We'll see if we want to tweak this eventually. So for the moment we've got a 20 combat width and we are optimizing ideally for soft attack and breakthrough, although this defense is also really high. So once we take a position, hopefully we can actually hold it. Now, I've included in here support artillery, engineer companies, motorized recon companies, and then field hospitals and logistics companies. The idea here is that we want to be able to land, fortify an area until reinforcements arrive, and this area may or may not have supplies. So that's the idea anyway. We'll go ahead and save that. If we want to tweak that division, we can, but we're going to go ahead and start some recruitment on that. So we don't need too many of these. I'm thinking, honestly, maybe just like 6, somewhere around there. So something like that. We'll get that going, and those will take a while to get trained. We'll utilize them a bit later on, but we'll just get that going for now, and we'll see how this next attack over here goes. I just want to have an iron in the fire, just in case. So let's kick on forward then, and let's take a quick peek at how we're doing on timing on this. 73 out of 126. Okay, so one of the reasons why I wanted to have this be relatively low amounts of troops is to increase the amount of times we can try the invasions. So the more invasion units that are assigned to the naval invasion order, the longer the prep takes, right? So that's absolutely understood. Now, if we look at how we're doing out over here, we took down a convoy. Here we lost 2 bombers. Here we took down an early cruiser. That's extraordinarily worthwhile. Not too much going on here. Here we lost 3 bombers in exchange for 2 early cruisers. To be honest, that's worthwhile. And here we just took down 2 early cruisers. So we're definitely taking down a lot of light cruisers in this area. And we're going to be upgrading our submarines fairly soon. Now, these guys are currently just kind of chilling here. And I'm thinking right now that we can assign the 2 tanks over here. So that's 1 tank. And 2 tanks. There we go. And then these 2 infantry units, they can just go up here for now. So that looks good for the moment. Nothing too major going on right now. We're mostly just waiting on some things. I did set up, one of these researches was finished, and I went for the homing torpedo for the next research, because I want to be able to sink additional enemy ships, right? So let's see how some of these naval battles played out. So here we managed to take down an early cruiser, sunk by our plane. Okay. We expect that, to be clear. Our submarines are not very effective at this time. We need to upgrade them. So we took down another cruiser there, and not too much going on in these other areas, but we're definitely sinking these cruisers nice and fast. So that looks great. So we're mostly just trying to snipe out some of these existing ships that are out over here. We're just trying to remove the low-hanging fruit, right? That's the goal here. How are we doing on our coring? Ah, yes, we should continue to work on coring. The end of the fiscal year is in 102 days, so that seems fine. Now, as far as the recruitment of the Marines go, yeah, we're just working on training. So this is going to be finished training on 4 July. That's not bad. That is not bad at all. So not too much going on over here. Ah, here we managed to take down a British Empire destroyer. So that's great. This is a cruiser. Another light cruiser. We're sinking a lot of light cruisers. And then that's another pair of light cruisers over there. So we're definitely taking them down faster than they can be built, I think. Even if they're building them in parallel. Because it still takes time to build them. You can only put so many dockyards on it, so that's very good to see. In the meantime, of course, we're just waiting on this invasion to go again. We will see if this ends up being a thing or not. And then after this is completed, the plan is to invade Japan. Oh, look at this. The US is down here now. That's very interesting. That's a pretty defensible place for the US to be. This is fine, to be clear. We're okay if this war ends. That's absolutely wonderful for us. So we don't mind if the US wants to do the hard work of invading Japan for us. We can just buy this later. That's absolutely a-okay. The real question, of course, is, are they going to get kicked off of here again? Because they've done this before. And there's Smiling Buddha finishing. That's probably hilarious. And for right now, we can do modern carrier safety, huh? What do we want to be focused on? Enemy artillery, aircraft, or torpedoes? Probably torpedoes for carriers. The aircraft, our aircraft are going to deal with. The artillery, our screening ships are going to deal with. So torpedoes. We'll go with that. Beautiful. If we ever build any carriers, we'll see if that ends up happening. So for now, we managed to take down a convoy. That looks good. This is another pair of convoys. Another British destroyer going down. Now, that's only a 36 destroyer. That's pretty out of date. It's not terribly surprising that we're able to take that down. So checking in here, we can see we've got 21 days now until our invasion is prepared. And we'll try this again. This will be the last invasion that we're going to try with these guys, and we will see what ends up happening with the Marines. We don't have the best in terms of naval invasion support, so that's definitely a bit of an issue. We could invade adjacent to Palembang, and we'd probably make landfall. The major problem with that, of course, is that we wouldn't have supplies unless we took Palembang. And that's dangerous. These units might get stack wiped if that happens. So that's just something that we have to be aware of, and I think that's absolutely fine for our Marines. I don't really want to risk the units that are here right now in that way, but for specialized units that are designed for that purpose, sure, that's absolutely fine. So we're going to start doing that eventually, but we do need to keep an eye on this situation here. Interesting. I wonder what the status of battles are here. These are going to be difficult straits to cross either way. So that's definitely fascinating. Okay, so we're going to have our ships in the Sea of Japan, of course, once we get up here. But for now, we're more interested in this naval invasion. We've got about 6 days on that one, so that looks phenomenal. What's the status of the Navy out here? 100% naval supremacy. There are no enemy ships in this region right now. So that seems magnificent. 122, 123. Any moment now. 124. 125, and does this finish on day 126 or after day 126? Looks like on day 126. Let's go ahead and execute, and let's launch this attack. So off we go. This is a slightly stronger attack than before, and we'll see how this ends up going. It's going to be interesting. There are 3 divisions here defending this, and this is going to be challenging. We'll see. But if this doesn't end up working, then we're going to use our Marines. Now, this shouldn't work, in all honesty. These guys are very bad at naval invasions. This should be just throwing lives away, right? And that's absolutely fine. So this is a military district here that can go up over this way. Excellent. And we'll see how this goes. So they're just going to keep shuffling reinforcements around and keep their supplies flowing here, and we expect them to be able to repel this attack. These units are not designed for this, and that'll be absolutely fine if they do repel it. If they don't, then that's great. That's just basically free at that point. So that seems good, and I do want... Oh, look at this. That's another invasion out over here. They're trying to cut off Medan. Interesting. They've still not dealt with this situation, by the way. They still don't have supplies here. This is wild. I'm not sure why they're not doing anything about that. Oh, hang on. Yeah, we've got the modern ship torpedo launcher, and we're auto-saving right now. We'll deal with that, but I just noticed, look at this. Japan has made their way across this strait. We'll see if they're able to hold that position. But they might be able to kick the U.S. off of the home islands at this point. We'll see. Now, we do need to hop in here and see about grabbing the electric torpedo. So that'll be wonderful. We're going to get our new ship designs going soon. And it looks like we've completely given up on this already. That was very fast. Okay. So that's noted. And not really an issue, all things considered. So looking up over here, they're dealing with this invasion. That seems fine. I would really like to attack Medan. I feel like that would be pretty ideal. And it looks like they might be able to get this fully taken care of out over here. So that's absolutely understood. It's currently 6 May, so we're a ways away from getting our Marines done here. We can see we're approximately half trained. So I'm going to reassign these guys here, and they're going to start that plan. But it's going to be a little bit, right? It's going to take some time. I want all of these units assigned here, and then I want these assigned underneath it. No, I don't want to do that. Yeah, that's a little awkward. Okay. So what we're going to do here is we're going to launch another naval invasion. And again, I don't expect this to be a successful one, right? We're going to do the exact same thing again, but this time it's going to be a little bit different. And the reason for that is because we're going to have our Marines by then. So we're going to launch an attack here, but we're also going to launch an attack from Kuala Lumpur up to Medan. That's the idea. Our Marines are going to come up here, and we're going to launch these 2 attacks, and that will stretch their defenses a little bit more, hopefully. That's the idea, anyway. So we'll see if that ends up working or not. These guys don't have supplies here, so they should get eliminated, in theory. We managed to take down a convoy there. That looks good. That is absolutely fine for the moment. So we've got these modern tank brigades here. I'm going to assign, or the singular modern tank brigade. I'm going to assign it to this unit here. So that seems absolutely fine. And the real question is, when are these Marines going to be ready to do this? So there's the contact mine finishing up. We should be just about ready to get our fleet upgraded. I think, honestly, at this point, we are ready, aren't we? Because I believe that these over here, and we want to grab, like, the diesel-powered emergency pumps. That'll be fine. I believe that these are all passive over here. So this is, yeah, these are not giving us components. Okay. And that's all mine laying down there, which I'm not too concerned about right now. So at this moment, I believe that we are, in fact, ready to change out our ships. So I want to go into our 44 cruiser, and I want to create a variant of that. And this is going to be upgrading all modules. And that should, in theory, be all we need to do. We'll save that. So that's the Mark 1 44 cruiser, and if we check in here, we can see, yeah, this is not making the Mark 1. So we're going to switch this over to the Mark 1. That'll lose us a little bit of production. That's understood. Next up would be the destroyers, and those are very close to the beginning of their production, so that sounds good. These should have more things that can be done. So we'll upgrade that, and the torpedo module will do torpedo launcher 4-4. That'll be relatively fine. We don't need to do, I think, anything else here. We've got the fire control 3. I'm surprised that didn't auto-upgrade. Interesting. We'll save that. And we can put that in as our destroyer productions. So that's going to go here, and that's going to go... Did that actually go? I don't think it did. I think we created a new line down here. Yeah. So let's get rid of both of those. Let's make sure that this cruiser did not get upgraded. Okay. There we go. We lost some production there. That's okay. Now, I'm going to finish these submarines. They finish tomorrow. So we're going to finish those and then do the upgrade on the submarine. There we go. So now we can finish up the submarine upgrade. So that is going to be... There are no modules to be upgraded here, allegedly. That's interesting. So apparently this is basically as good as it's going to get as of right now. So we don't need to do any submarine changes. Fascinating. Okay, I want to double check the cruiser design. Wait a sec. Yeah, this is correct. I want to double check the cruiser design here and see if there's anything here that would need to be upgraded. There is. Dual-purpose secondary batteries can go up to 4. Interesting that the auto upgrade is not correctly auto upgrading. Okay, so we want this then to be the Cruiser Mark II, which, yeah, that's going to lose a bunch of production. That's understood. I'm not happy about it, but, you know, it's going to happen. So we're definitely lacking in some steel here. I'm going to move our infantry equipment in the priority down to here. There we go. So now we're no longer losing steel in any of those. Our ships are upgraded and should, in theory, be at least slightly better. We'll see how slightly they are, and that's absolutely fine for now. So we're working on this naval invasion preparation here, but this is not the main show at this point. At this point, the main show for naval invasion is going to be attacking up over here, and we'll see how that ends up going. We'll see how these divisions do. That's going to be finished on, it's now saying 11 July. Okay. So that's noted. We are making progress, though, so that seems fine. In fact, we may want to do this. This is 6, right? So we may want to do this 4 times. That'll give us 24 in total, but we probably want these to not operate in groups of 24. We want them to operate probably in smaller groups, and I'm not sure how many special forces we can actually have.
Come on.
So that's definitely a concern as well. So we'll get this tank moved in. That'll be wonderful. Excellent. We lost a bomber over here, it looks like. Yeah, that's fine. Not a big deal. And how's the naval situation over here? Yeah, we've still got 100% naval supremacy. So that's looking great. Let's check in on Japan. The inverse is now true. The U.S. has taken back Kokura and has made it over here now. Japan may fall from this invasion. I don't really know numbers, so we can't really assess this very well. But this is definitely a very, very dangerous position for Japan. And a very good position for us. We would love it if the war with Japan would be over. That'd be magnificent. Japan is the only ones left who haven't capitulated, right? And the British Empire, and imperialist Australia, and Tunisia, of all things. Okay. So, I mean, there's that. It's now 11 June at this time, and if we were to hop into our recruitment and take a look at what we've got going on, we can see 12 July. Okay, so basically exactly 1 month for our Marines to finish. That looks good, and these guys are going to be ready to launch, well, a long time after that. This naval invasion preparation is slow, and that's not at all surprising. We spotted an enemy navy down here in the Straits of Malacca, so that's cool. We did lose 2 bombers there, and we lost 4 bombers there. Here we lost 4 bombers in exchange for 2 convoys. I'm not sure how great that is, but the British Navy is in the area at this time, and they're a bit significant, so we're not surprised that our losses are ticking up. Ooh, look at that. We sunk the HMS Magnificent. That is a 1940 carrier, and we also took down a naval bomber. That's a very significant victory. That's extraordinarily significant, in fact. I like it. So that's absolutely phenomenal. At this point, we do need more research going, and we can do fire control methods to boost up our attack from our ship types. These are surface vessels only. That's not going to boost our submarine attack, and that's fine. So, at this point, we're just waiting. We're very, very close, but we are waiting. So these Marines are going to be finished soon. This is the first batch of Marines, and I'm thinking what we're probably going to end up doing is splitting all of those Marines, making like a new theater, and then having them in groups of probably 6. So that's going to be, 4 total quote-unquote armies, very small armies, and they're going to move in tandem, but they're going to attack like adjacent areas. So for here, for example, we would attack Medan, we would attack Sumatra down here, here, and possibly even as far south as here. I would prefer to attack on this side to cut off Medan quickly, but we would have to pass through this sea zone to do that, and that's probably not going to end up happening. So that's absolutely fine. What do we got going on over here? We took down a convoy, lost a naval bomber, and here we took down a destroyer, so that's fantastic. And here we took down another destroyer. So we're definitely chipping into the British Navy at this point. It's great. We're glad to see that. The British Navy does need to be worked on, after all. Here we lost 4 bombers. Here we lost 3 bombers in exchange for a convoy. I'm completely content with taking those trades. That's absolutely wonderful. Okay, what do we got here? Nothing. Here we took a destroyer down. We're definitely seeing some significant victories here at this point, but nothing quite as significant as taking down that carrier. Oh, that was a big deal. Okay, so that's absolutely wonderful for now. We're continuing to harass them in this area very significantly, that's for sure. So let's check in on our recruitment here. So our first batch of Marines is just about done. We're going to make a new theater for this, for sure. Yeah, we're definitely going to make a new theater for our Marines. I just want to have them all be in one place. So that'll be fine. They will be here shortly. There we go. So there's the Marines, and we're going to make a new army, but we're also going to make a new theater, and I'm going to call this the Invasion Theater. We don't need a space there. Perfect. And let's put in a commander here. So we're probably going to need to promote somebody, and these are all tank division commanders. Here's an infantry division commander. Okay. I don't think it actually matters, but that's hilarious. Okay, so we want to come down and begin preparations of a naval invasion from Kuala Lumpur to Medan. So this is not going to take... Nope, hang on. Just do it. There we go. This is not going to take very long. We did manage to take down another destroyer from the British Navy. This is not going to take very long to prepare this. You can see 31 days for that preparation, and that is much better than 126. No doubt about that. They'll make their way down. We're not going to have additional Marine armies just yet. So it's just going to be this one for now. Ooh, we took down an early cruiser and an early destroyer here. And here we took down an early destroyer and a 1940 destroyer. Okay, we're definitely starting to get some slightly higher tech destruction. So that was a 1940 destroyer. Excellent. Up over here, not a lot going on. What about over here? Here's another early destroyer going down. The British Navy is taking a lot of hits right now. And they're not actually in this region at the moment. So that's going to die down now. So that's absolutely wonderful. I want to check in on the status of this invasion. So that's going to be done in about 50 days, 49 days. We should probably wait on that and time this Marine invasion to coincide with this attack, just to pull their supplies a little bit tighter, would be the idea. The question is, which one do we want to naval invasion support? Because we only have the one fleet assigned to naval invasion support here. Also, this is cut off right now. We may not actually have to do anything here. This may be under control. Ooh, we took down 2 submarines. That's good. What else do we have out over here? Not a whole lot going on there. Okay. So they've managed to cut this off. They have no supplies here. They should be knocked out of here, but they've been very bad about that. I'm not convinced about this. I don't know. Let's check in on Japan. So the US is kicked back out of here, and they're back to this equilibrium point. That's going to be increasingly difficult for them if they get dug in. And when I say them, you might be asking, who exactly do you mean? Yes, it's going to be difficult for both. That's the answer. So we took down a destroyer, we took another submarine down, and we lost a few planes, but that's all absolutely fine. Not terribly concerned about that one. So, how's our timing looking here? We need about 30 more days before this is ready to attack. I assume our Marines are ready to go. Actually, not yet. They need another 6. So that's fine. The plan here is to start the Marines attacking, and then, like, an hour or 2 later, we're going to start the other attack. That's the idea, anyway. So that seems okay. Yugoslavia wants us to join their faction. Hilarious. We are going to say no to that. And let's start working on some more of this mine warfare for the moment. That looks absolutely fine. Oh, we have a special project available, the thermonuclear bomb. Let's get going on that. Not that I think that we're really going to use it, although we do have 2 nuclear bombs right now. So there is that. Can we nuke with our existing bombers? Let's see here. Where's the nuke button? Did they remove the nuke button? I'd be very sad if they removed the dedicated nuke button. That is very sad. I do not see the nuke button. Maybe that's done differently now. A distinct possibility. I don't know if these naval patrol bombers can even carry nukes. We do have bomb bays on them, but I don't know if they can. It would be interesting for sure. So if we were to check, like, down over here. Yeah, I'm just not seeing the dedicated nuke button. I believe it used to be here, but it's been a while. So maybe it was moved. Maybe it just no longer is in this spot. I'm not sure. Just checking in over in Japan here. Yeah, this is complicated, for sure. I'm not entirely certain how this is going to play out, but it looks like they've probably established enough of a beachhead here that it's going to be very difficult to dislodge them. But it's also going to be very difficult to push through. So, there's that. We may attack up in the north. We'll see. So I want to check in on the status of our timing here. So the Marines are ready to go. That's fine. I want to hop down as soon as the autosave is over. There we go. Hey, over to here and check on these guys. 10 days. Okay, let's get this finished. So we're going to launch this invasion as soon as the preparation is completed. That'll be fine. What is this division? 2 military districts? Okay, one of these can go here. And the other can go... Do we need more here? No, we don't. What about here? I believe our Coast Guard is actually full at this point. Ah, we need technically 1 less here. Okay. We could pull a military district out of there and put this somewhere. I don't exactly know where. We could move it into a new theater and just do something like that. This guy would go back into the Coast Guard. And then we could have this be part of, like, the invasion theater, where this is intended to be like a force that comes in behind them to help hold the territory. I don't know. We kind of already have that. It's a little awkward. I'm not sure what we're going to do with that quite yet. We'll probably figure out something to do with them. So we managed to sink another 1940 destroyer, and a convoy, and another 1940 destroyer. Magnificent. So we're definitely doing well on that front. Oh, we're ready to attack. So let's do that. I'm going to grab our Marines, and we're going to tell them, go ahead and attack. They're on their way out. Then we're going to have these go ahead and attack as well. Okay. So that seems fine. We are failing this attack, which I'm not terribly surprised about. But the fact that this is cut off over here, I think, means that we'll probably succeed this attack. Most likely, anyway. We'll see. Why is this only assigned to 4 divisions right now? That's interesting. But the Marines can keep doing this sort of attack fairly constantly if they want to. And keep in mind, this is a very small amount of Marines right now. So I want to reassign these Marines right here. And they will begin preparation on another attack there. For now, this is absolutely fine. This is a very small amount of Marines. We're not surprised about that. Oh, we managed to take this. Okay.
Hey, come on.
So, with that in mind, there is a level 1 naval base here. We should immediately begin construction on additional naval base levels and on land fort levels here. And probably on that infrastructure as well, if we can. No, we can't build that yet. Okay, so that's fine.
Hey,
I now want to grab these tanks, and they're going to be told to offensive line basically straight down to here. Go ahead and execute that. Okay, so we managed to get a toehold over here. That's wonderful. And we should have no problem holding this, to be honest. But as I expected, that's probably because of the lack of supply flow out over here. So that seems good. Also, I just checked the clock and realized it is well past time to put a cut in here, so I'm going to go ahead and do that. I was kind of wrapped up in getting all of this done, that's for sure. And next episode, we're going to try to push out from this point and see what we can get done here. You can leave your offerings to the engagement gods in the form of likes, comments, subscribes, and bell ringings, and a very special thank you to all of the channel members for making this video possible, including ALS Gamer, Dark Horse, Ethan Feldman, Aurelio, Upper Cumberland Gamers, Nick Smarty, Dimitri H, Punching the Microphone, The Lounge STL, and all the rest. And of course, you. Thank you for watching. If you'd like to support the channel, you can click the join button down below the video, and as always, I will see you all next time.